Does sometimes it feel like you're not selling the way that you should be selling? It feels slimy and gross. Well, I've had the opportunity to talk to someone that changed my business on this podcast numerous times, and I got to see them just take the stage at Social Media Week Lima, and I had to grab them and bring them back to this week's episode because it's going to change the game for you and your sales process.
Welcome to Rocky Mountain Marketing. I'm your host, Katie Brinkley. Join us as we dive deep with the world's leading digital marketing experts every single Tuesday. It's all about giving you the strategies that are working right now, directly from those who are making an impact. With my 20 years of experience, I'm here to help you navigate the world of digital marketing. Whether you're looking to sharpen your skills or transform your business, you're in the right place. Let's get started on today's journey to success.
Welcome to this week's episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. I'm sitting down with, like I said in the intro, someone that changed my business. I hired her as my sales coach, and now she's become one of my great friends. And I got to see her speak at Social Media Week Lima, which, if you've never been, make sure you get your tickets for next year because it is an event that's going to change your business. Incredible speakers. It's the largest social media conference in the Midwest. You got to be here. But I brought Alicia Barr into this week's episode because, man, I used to hate doing sales, and now it's one of my favorite things to do. And it's because I'm not showing up and selling like a douchebag. It's always so funny to say that. And so, Alicia, I want to just, talk a little bit about your new book, The Black Sheep Sales Method, right? Talk to us a little bit about what brought you into really having this strategy for your sales process.
Yeah. So sold digital marketing for about 10 years in corporate. And then I had my own marketing agency. And during that time, I realized that there wasn't a lot of really great sales training out there. And it was making people very uncomfortable. And if you can't sell, you don't have a business. So this was leading to people actually closing down their business or just struggling. And the hit to your confidence it makes. And the thing is that they were trying to act like someone else. So they're the most popular strategies that are promoted for sales. They genuinely work for the person who's promoting it. And that is the minority of people. Actually, it doesn't work very well on many prospects either. It's the minority of prospects that like that high pressure strategy. I mean, I don't think anyone really likes it, but there's this minority of people who will actually buy when going through that process, and a minority of people who feel comfortable doing that to somebody. So there was just this huge need for, especially with the diversity of buyers and sellers that we have now, it's not just aggressive men, it's all kinds of people. There needs to be a different way of having a sales conversation, and it should feel like guiding somebody to making the best decision for them, even if that's not you. And so I was always what you call a natural at sales. And I never knew what I was doing exactly. But when I started helping people with their sales, I started being able to put words to it. And it's about fitting. It's about knowing what criteria needs to be there for you to get somebody really great results and being super transparent and honest about that criteria and getting excited if someone fits it. And if they don't, giving them resources for what they actually need. And it really creates this, it disarms people because you're not just worried about your own bank account and makes them want to work with you more.
So for me in my sales, I know that I always felt like I had to show up and be that kind of that used car salesman. Like, okay, well, what if I told you that blah, 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 blah. Tracy Phillips, she's also here speaking. And I love that she said, we were talking just off the cuff, the three of us. And she said, I can't stand it when people say like, well, what if I told you? She's like, well, just tell me, not what if I told you. And I think that a lot of us have gotten into this script, like this is how it should be done. Like, okay, so this is the way if you want to close more sales. And one of your slides was saying something along the lines of like, what's your goal? Is it 25 clients? Or if that's your goal, everyone has different goals, and you need to adjust your framework so that it's not trying to just talk to as many people as possible, but talking to the right people. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So, one of the cool things about focusing on fit and who the right fit people are is that your sales closing rate naturally goes up because you're not talking to the wrong people anymore. So, sales is a numbers game, is something that we've all heard a lot of times, or like get excited to hear no because it's getting you closer to a yes, which honestly is a great piece of sales propaganda. Nobody should be excited about that. So, that style of sales could work if you're just a company that is going for volume, where you just need a call center banging out numbers because you have a volume type of service. But if you're a service provider who has a long-term relationship that's higher touch, you can't go through that process with somebody because you're forcing them to come in, and then you're going to have to work with them closely for months. And that's not going to be a great relationship. And so people, when it's that longer term relationship, that feeling of someone actually caring about you is even more important for you to want to sign up with them. And sales stops being a numbers game when you stop treating people like numbers, because you can feel that difference when I'm getting the same mass message that you've told 100 times, or I'm getting the same pitch I can tell that you've given 100 times. You don't even know who you're talking to because I'm just like a face and a body across from you.
Well, and I think that, like I said, that slide that you showed where it was like wood, what is your end goal? Because all of us have different goals. They'll have different businesses. And for me, I don't know if honestly right now we could take on another 10 clients. If you said, Katie, I have 10 clients, here you go. I don't know if we could take them on. That's not my goal. My goal is to bring on 2 more clients this year. That's it, just 2. And so I think that everyone has different goals. So there is no copy and paste format. A lot of us with sales, we've either never been trained or we're following these bro marketers where it's like, can I get, like you said, every no is another step closer to a yes. Like, oh my God, yeah, that sounds, no, I don't want to hear a no. I only want to talk to people that want to buy from me. And I also like how you said too, when you're talking to the right people, it's going to help you get better clients and you're going to have better relationships and better contracts. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So when you're really clear on who's a good fit and you're really confident in turning people away, something beautiful happens to your time. And you're not just getting on a sales call with anybody, because at first you're like, usually when businesses first start, they're like, I have all these sales calls. I'm so excited. And their version of a sales call is somebody's willing to talk to me. And then they get really tired because they're like, all these people are wasting my time. They're all tire kickers because there's absolutely no pre-qualification going on. Like, what are you looking for? Where are you at in your business? What is your budget? Those things make a difference in whether it's a good use of our time. I mean, do you like talking to people about stuff you can't afford? No, I don't really want to talk to somebody about something I can't afford or that I don't need either. So it's really for both of you to pre-qualify in that way. And so I've seen people when they're going for that volume approach, they show up at every sales call almost bracing themselves for this being a terrible waste of time. And the other person can feel that. So whenever you're careful or curated or intentional about who you're talking to, you're excited when you show up because you know that person's a great fit and you want to help them, and they can feel that too. And so there's so many things that happen that increase your close rate. You're talking to less people, and as a result, you have more energy and confidence, and you're also talking to the right people. The conversion rate, you make more sales. Everybody I talk to, they take less sales calls and they make more sales than when they were taking a lot of sales calls.
Okay, we're talking to the right people. We're showing up authentically. One of the biggest secrets, I think, for me was to be a better listener on the sales calls and not show up and just try to overeducate my prospect. And I think that a lot of coaches, a lot of consultants, we fall into that trap. So talk to us a little bit about how being a better listener is going to help you close more clients, but really you close better clients.
Yeah. So, I mean, one of the most powerful skills for someone in sales is curiosity. And being curious comes from being present. So, you can't script every possible question that you're going to ask somebody because every conversation is different. You have to be present in the conversation. And honestly, humans are different depending on the day and the mood. So, even if you talked to this person before, you need to re listen and identify where they're at today. So, you have to be able to hear what they're not saying. And a lot of times people will say things like objections in the form of a question, for example, or like a random offhand comment. So they'll be like, well, so I mean, like, let's say for your agency, well, how many times are you posting a week? And it's like, yeah, is the frequency of posts the most important thing to you? Or is the strategy that's going to get the result more important to you? And that really comes down to fit, right? If this is somebody who wants volume, not strategy, then that's not a fit for you. right? So understanding, coming from that place where you're like, I hear this person might have an issue with me not posting frequently. So I'm going to get curious about it and identify, because a lot of times people just don't know that that's not necessary. And once they know it's not necessary, they're like, yeah, okay, great, I'm in. And so it's just this really collaborative conversation where you're tuned in to finding out, what does this other person really want and really need? And does it line up with what I offer? And if it does, then like, let's go. But that takes a certain level of curiosity and hearing what they're not saying.
I love that, because it is so true. Like when I'm on some sales calls, and Alicia knows, like we don't post a ton on social media. I don't think that you need to when you have the strategy that we offer as part of the package. But it is still something that a lot of people want to have. They want to have the Alex Hormozi, Gary Vee sort of posting strategy. And, cool, I'm not your person. We're not your agency for that. And I think that once you start listening to those objections or those questions, it really does allow you to weed out the good, potentially good clients and the potentially bad clients before you even make an offer or do a proposal. Or it allows you to make the introduction to the right person of, hey, I think this agency, this person would be a great fit for what you're looking for. So I want to talk a little bit about your book. And because I've been dying to get her on the show ever since it came out. It's been out now for like 5 months. Man, it's such a great book. I got it right when it came out. And she's been making little black sheep for all the attendees here at the conference. And I know you've sold a ton of books here at the conference. Talk to us a little bit about the book, and, if people are interested in getting better at their sales, how can they get their hands on this?
Yeah. So Black Sheep Sales, How to Win More Sales Without Acting Like a Douchebag, is my book. And it's a good read. It's about an hour and a half. So nothing crazy, very conversational format. And it's based on the Black Sheep Sales method, which after 6 years of working with people in their sales process, I started noticing patterns. And I was able to really create a process that you can customize to yourself based on the patterns from working with dozens and dozens of business owners on their sales processes. And it's a very approachable, actionable way to do sales. Usually when people read it, they're like, oh, I knew sales could be easy, because whenever they learn sales or read a book about sales, they're like, really, this is it? This is what I'm supposed to do? This does not feel right. So this book feels like, oh my God, finally, I knew that there had to be a better way to do this, because it just seemed like crazy that everybody's acting like they're manipulative and pressuring people. So it really breaks down from before the sales conversation to the end of the sales conversation, and how to navigate that process with a really magnetic and effortless and natural style. Because the less you seem like a salesperson, the more people trust you.
Well, okay. So before we wrap up today's episode, there's been a lot of talk about staying authentic to you in this world full of AI. And I think that it could be very easy to want to lean on AI or ChatGPT to maybe help you pre-screen a potential lead, or like certain questions that you should ask. What are your thoughts on implementation with AI and sales?
Yeah, that's such a good question. A lot of people have asked about that. I don't think there's any way that AI could ever replace a salesperson, especially when you're talking about things that cost $100,000 or $1 million, or somebody needs to talk to another human in that process. And I can't see AI being really good at outreach either. Like, I know people who will go to conferences where they know their best leads are there because they can't get in touch with them any other way. Like, AI is not going to be able to do something like that. So I have seen some automations in the initial process if somebody like direct messages you. And that could work to save time. But honestly, like, even with the people I know implementing that, you got to hop in at some point, because everybody has kind of different questions. So I haven't seen AI that's good enough that's flexible and adaptable enough yet to really read somebody and give them the information they need and ask the right questions to feel like, I care, I see and hear you. I haven't seen that personally. And especially if you only need 25 a year, I wouldn't be like using AI to have those conversations. You can't trust AI to even get it right. Maybe eventually there will be something that is that good. But right now, especially, you don't want nightmare clients. Like, I would be the person vetting my clients.
Well, I think that one of the biggest takeaways that I've had from being at the conference this year was your voice matters. And especially as a business owner, stepping in and being a good listener, putting you into your business and not allow, AI is changing the game for everything, but don't let it replace you. Don't let it take away your voice, take away you, like Alicia just said, listening on those sales calls. Because if you are able to listen, you're going to be able to offer a better result for your potential client, whether it's working with you or not working with you. So Alicia, thank you so much for joining me on Rocky Mountain Marketing today. Be sure to go check out the Black Sheep Sales book, Stop Selling Like a Douchebag. I should have told you to bring one. I think you sold them all though, but go grab her book. Connect with her on LinkedIn. She posts amazing content over on LinkedIn, Alicia Barr. I'll include all the links in the show notes. And until next time, we will see you in another week of Rocky Mountain Marketing.
Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. I hope you're leaving with valuable insights and the inspiration to lead your market. If you've enjoyed our time together and found today's podcast episode useful, I have a small favor to ask of you. Please hit that subscribe button to stay updated with the latest episodes. And if you know someone who could benefit from these episodes, maybe a fellow business leader or an aspiring entrepreneur, go ahead and share this episode with them. Let's spread the knowledge and grow together. Also, I'd love to hear from you and continue the conversation beyond the podcast. Visit me at katiebrinkley.com to connect, to find more resources, or just to share your journey. And be sure to pick up your copy of my new book, The Social Shift, at katiebrinkley.com/book. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Katie Brinkley, and I can't wait to dive into more strategies and stories with you on the next episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. Let's keep on taking your marketing to new heights.